everybody, Origami Gamer here, and today we will be making an F-106 Delta Dart with retractable landing gear. So, step 1, get a square sheet of paper. Now, I'm starting with a sheet of US letter paper, so this needs to be converted into a square. Any piece of paper that is not a square can be converted into a square by using this method. And the method is fold one side, fold the top side to fold the short side to the long side along a diagonal and remove the excess. What I like to do is crease the paper heavily and then tear along this line, and tear along the crease line. So the first thing you're going to do is start with a square base. The first thing you do is fold along the diagonals. Make sure all the folds are even. Flip the paper over, then fold along the horizontal and vertical axes. Now, depending on how you fold this, the paper may bend inwards or outwards. Now, you want to flip the paper, but what you want to do is flip the paper up so the vertical folds are mountain folds. The paper to pop upwards and close it up to make a square base, otherwise known as a preliminary fold. Okay, so you fold this point to this point. This is the open side of it. Fold this edge to this edge. And then fold along this edge. Reverse fold. Or, if you want to be simpler, squash fold. Should look like that. Fold this side to this crease. Fold this. Next, we're going to do a swivel fold. These can be kind of tricky if you're new to origami, and if you're new to origami, don't do this video. But for those who are more experienced, here's what you do. You take this crease line right here and swivel it over along this point to the center crease. When it all lines up, you flatten down all the creases. And that's what it should look like. You repeat this process on the other side, and I'll be back when that is complete. And we're back. Now that you have these little flaps right here, you want to flip the paper and pop this open right here, and then tuck these inside of it to end up with this. Now you fold these edges, so it is right here, to the center line. Might be a little bit difficult, but it's possible. You then unfold, so you have two creases like this, and then inside reverse fold these. The inside reverse fold is a combination fold, where two creases are reversed and part of the model tucked inside. So a combination of two reverse creases and a little bit of a push. So one side should look like. Next, you repeat this on the other. Okay, this is what the model should look like at this point in time. Next, you fold these little creases right here to the center line. Unfold, and using these as a guide on the lower part, you tuck these in to perform a petal fold. Next, you undo the petal fold, pop these out, take it back to this. We're going to be doing some restructuring, but first, I will highlight the creases we will need. With these creases marked out, and the open part of the flap is like this, all of these are mountain folds except for this one right here, which is a valley fold. You pull this along, allow these two flaps right here to come and essentially engulf it. You have a flap of paper sticking straight up, which you then squash fold. Yes, that pencil mark will stay there. The only real editing I do on these videos is hitting the pause button. Okay, so you should see some creases here. What I recommend doing is these creases right here, use them to reverse these flaps like so. Then folding it upwards to create this little thing right here. This will become the forward landing strut. And now, with this done, again, the next step by flipping the model over and taking these right here, folding them outwards along naturally existing creases. This might look a bit awkward, but I'm trying to show you this so the camera is my eyes. Repeat on this side. Actually, let me do this just so I can see it. And now you will have this. Now, the way this side is, it's fine, but this side isn't. You gotta roll these over so I get something that looks like this. Now, what I've showed you so far is part of Jason Merrill's Diamondback Alpha. Here is where the model diverges from that, however. You take these little flaps right here and perform an inside reverse fold as they are unnecessary and will, in fact, take away from the decoration. Alright, with those flaps successfully inside reverse folded, the model should look like this. Now, we fold these to the center. Both of them. And then fold out. Extending most of the way up to the top. This is mostly a judgment fold. However, when using a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, I like to leave about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of room at the top. So what you do now is, for the F-106 Delta Dart, these wings extend way too far forward. So what we're going to do is reinforce the nose by folding this inner edge to the outer edge, like so, performing another swivel fold to take things down a notch in the length stakes. There, that seems about right. You then repeat this process on the other side. This reinforces the nose and wings of the plane. Fold in half to ensure symmetry, which I have. And your plane should look like this at this point in time. Now, you take this flap right here and fold it underneath where the forward landing strut is. This will allow you to work on the model a bit better. Now we make the rear landing struts. Taking this top flap right here and folding it so that this edge lines up with this edge. We unfold, then inside reverse into the model. Like so. We then lift that up and reverse fold this right here. Might be helpful to unfold these a bit before starting. You also flip these to the back, like so, before starting. That's what I meant to say. When you have the rear landing strut, when retracted, to retract it, you take this point right here, fold it in, fold this over, and it's retracted. We then repeat this process on the other side, and I'll be back with you on that. And we're back. Now that we have all this set up, we need to create the forward landing strut in its entirety. We essentially fold this perpendicular to itself and fold up to this pencil mark I made. We unfold and repeat that process on the other side. We then perform a rabbit ear fold and that's what the forward landing strut will look like. However, we can keep this in retracted mode for now, as we will not be needing it. Next, we fold these wings back in. It's going to take a bit of finagling. And there. You might wish to keep them underneath the front landing strut, as they can be a little hard to keep track of otherwise. We then perform a jet fold. Actually, first, we crease along this line. And then on the other side as well. To make the jet fold part of the model a bit easier. Next up, we jet fold. It's a tad bit thick towards the middle. That's perfectly normal. Next, we fold the wings out along the fuselage to create this shape. We then perform an inside reverse fold and pull this up to create the single fin seen on the Delta Dart. You have these flaps over here. What you do is you fold them over to one side, along with part of the fuselage, if need be. With that done, you begin by immediately folding it half to that same side, pinch it all, and it should keep your plane decently locked. Here's what the plane will look like without the landing gear attached. And here's what it looks like, landing gear deployed. The plane can stand up on its own too. Pretty neat, huh? Well, that's it for this video, and Origami Gamer out.